Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening Network. This is episode number 128 of the Ask Julius Show. That show in which Casey Spear actually channels Julius and the group of entities. And we have this incredible audience that follows us from everywhere in the world and asks those incredible questions. Hi, Casey, how are you? How was your week?
It was great. Look, we're twins tonight.
Absolutely. Typically, you are wearing all these fancy, colorful outfits that everybody talks about throughout the entire show. Today is different, but obviously, always those beautiful plants. I'm sure also that your cat slash cats are
They're all
somewhere.
here. Yeah,
Exactly.
they're all here.
They're all over the place. Wonderful. Excellent. All right, so let's start because we have a lot of questions today and everybody's super excited to be here. Let me ask you from Jeanette, first question. What is the one silent intention behind all suffering on earth spoken as the actual vibrational cause in the field of awareness?
So, Master, it is a perspective. So here's what becomes really interesting. And we know that this is a really challenging one for you to grasp while you're on your conscious journey, going through your remembrance as yourself, as the all. But it is vibration demonstrates itself through perspective. Okay. So fear-based actions and perceptions are a byproduct of low vibration. So in other words, Master, if you are a low vibrational being, you're going to have pain and suffering. That's going to be your perspective of the things that are going on in your life. Also, if you are a low vibrational being, you're going to cause pain and suffering. You're going to harm other people. You're going to control other people. You're going to mutilate other people. So when pain and suffering is occurring from either the instigator or the receiver, it is a frequency demonstrating itself or playing itself out. Same with high vibration. When you have peace, love, joy, extraordinary, that is a vibrational experience. It's a perspective and an action. When you are a high vibrational being, you will act with compassion and empathy and support each other. So everything is a vibrational differentiation. Okay. Source, you are source, and you are all of this. And it is just a variation of all frequency. So source is all frequency, Master, both low and high, and everything in between. And when you embody yourself into a type of a physical experience, you are showcasing vibrational differentiation, so you may understand all of that variation, so you may expand yourself through all of that vibration. That's the ultimate truth. What's really taking place in front of you is just a holographic projection of a perception. It's not real. Your body is not real. Anything actionable here on a holographic projection realm is not real. What is showing itself is a vibrational demonstration. Why? So source can know itself as the all. You are source. So rather than you just perceiving yourself as a possibility of the all, you're going to play yourself out as the all so you can know yourself as the all. So that's it. So pain and suffering is low vibration. Love, compassion, and empathy is high vibration. It simply is a variation. That is the truth. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't step in and try to shift the pain and suffering, assist others, demonstrate compassion and empathy, and not just continue to turn yourself away from all of that going on and say, well, it's perfectly fine for that all to be taking place. It's because it's just low vibration. But the key to all of that, Master, is to not judge it. If you judge pain and suffering as a bad thing, then you actually are supporting that energy by vibrating it at the same vibration. So judgment is a vibrational perspective. And when you throw judgment at any form of vibration, you support that vibration by keeping it low. That is a tricky one. So when you want to shift low vibration, you don't judge it, you understand it, and you throw compassion at it, and then you can shift it. But that is what is going on.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question from Adrienne. Grand evening. It feels like Monday. Actually, that's a good question. Why is it darker at 5 than normal, or is it me? Also, has time sped up? Thanks.
Yeah, time is a complete illusion, Master. That is the truth. That's another one that is a difficult thing to grasp. You are continually experiencing the moment of now through different vibrational perspectives. That's the ultimate truth. That's quantum physics. That's metaphysics. That's how everything works on this illusional holographic realm projection. But having said that, because you play it out as a linear occurrence so that you may experience things for yourself in a saturation application, so you have understanding, you have bought into lineage of time. Now, the hologram, the Earth ship, is a holographic projection of a thought realm for you to have experiences on. It is multidimensional, just like you are. You have 11 different versions of the Earth ship, everything from a first dimensional Earth ship known as flat Earth theory, all the way to an 11th dimension Earth ship. There's many different shapes for it. There's many different forms for it. And there is a rotational occurrence around a bright star or a sun. And that has to do with the way you see light versus darkness. It has to do with a lot of the shifting that goes on in your solar systems and things like that, or what you perceive to be a seasonal occurrence. So all of those things do play in the hologram. So as long as you're playing on a hologram, you're going to experience those things holographically, okay? Time being sped up is also a perception, kind of. What we will tell you is they're messing with timelines, okay? They're altering them, they're opening portals, they're closing portals, they're manipulating all of the playing out occurrences on the timelines all around you to desperately continue to have a chokehold on you and keep you enslaved. So every time you start to raise your frequency and come out of a possibility from being enslaved, they'll literally screw your timeline up and try to keep everybody in chaos, keep everybody unsure, ungrounded, and that way they can control and manipulate you. So when you are experiencing like you are now, time feeling like it has sped up. This last year was one of the most intense timeline manipulations that you've had thus far. It will screw up the way that time feels to you, and it will make you very, very, very discombobulated. So that is taking place.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question is from Jeanette. Sophia, my daughter, has constant nightmares. She wakes up tired with not much energy. She's a teacher for kids with special needs. She has a beautiful heart and loves her job and the kids very much. Are those attacks to drain her energy? What can she do to prevent it and protect herself? Always grateful for advice.
Yeah, she's full of vaccine poisoning. It's affecting her thoughts. It's affecting her brain. Okay, she needs to do a heavy detox and get this stuff out of her brain. She needs to get off of the devices 2 hours before she goes to bed. She needs to make sure that she is only watching high vibrational things, listening to high vibrational music. Her brain is overstimulated. She needs to get a grounding sheet. Okay, and this is. Say that again.
Celestite.
This is celestite. This is celestite crystal. Okay, it's beautiful. It's a blue crystal. Celestite helps with nightmares and helps with restful sleep, or let's say preventing nightmares. Let's make sure we make that clear. You don't want nightmares. It's going to help prevent nightmares and help provide restful sleep. Set this on your nightstands. Everybody should be doing that. It also will help clean some of the frequencies in the room. So the frequencies are really affecting her. She needs to do everything she can to detox from those frequencies, and then she needs to work efficiently and effectively to not saturate herself in the frequencies. The crystals can truly, truly help. But we know that it's an inconvenience, and we already hear you, okay? Oh, she has all the homework that she can, has to grade all the homework, and she can barely get everything done, and she does it to, however late, and then she goes to bed, and we're like, well, then she's not prioritizing her well-being. When she is ready to truly take her health and wellness in her own hands, she will follow some of the things that we say, because she won't do it any other way, so she can be productive and efficient for her children. When she is low vibration, she is not serving her children that she's wanting to teach or guide. Let's say guide, okay? She wants to prioritize her frequency. She wants to prioritize the reset of her nervous system, because if not, she's going to be frazzled, she's going to be reactive, and she's not going to be able to serve the children the way that she desires to. But she needs to detox. She's got graphene fragments in her brain. It's affecting whether she can shut her brain down, so to speak, and get a nervous system reset. So she needs a heavy parasitical detox, heavy metal detox, and plastics detox from her body.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now a question from JJ. Hello. I am curious to know whether the controllers are repeating timeline using actors or characters to achieve different outcomes of the same event in the present.
Yes, a lot of them are clones. You have more cloning going on this Earth ship than you even realize. There's probably 30% of the population on the surface of the Earth are clones or AI partials or hybrids. And that's the truth. And so you're seeing a lot of them play those out. Some of them are actors. Some of them are organic lookalikes and actors. But there's a lot of clones and there are a lot of hybrids. And that's what we will tell you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. The next question. From your level of awareness, what is the difference between love and attachment expressed as a felt frequency in the body of the listener right now?
Attachment is not love. Attachment is fear. So they're opposites. And that is the truth. Okay. Love does not attach. Fear does. Okay. So most humans do attachments. They don't do love. They do attachments and needs. You've been programmed for it. Every single one of you have experienced trauma, whether you realize it or not, which creates your attachment style. So based on your traumas, your attachment style is developed. And you will generally attach to everything in your life, from your material things to your jobs, to all of your relationships, and even to your human identity. You actually attach your wealth, your value, your identification markers to a holographic costume because you're so attached to your bodies. You're so attached to them that you feel the need to alter them in order to feel valuable and worthy of many, many, many different things. So attachments are fear, complete opposite of love. And that is a truth, Master.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Remember, we have this incredible healing package, and you can scan the QR code at the top right corner of your screen. You just open the camera app on your phone, you point it at the healing package QR code that you see on the top right corner, and it will take you to a landing page that we will share with you in a few more minutes. Meanwhile, we will keep on asking questions to Julius and their group of entities. Adrienne, I was in Theta state as I was waking up from a nap 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday. I saw 2 brown fairies on top of my bedroom door frame.
Okay.
The other one was on top of my closet door frame.
Okay.
Guidance?
You're just interdimensional. You're just getting a glimpse into the 4th dimension. Usually when you're in theta state, you have the opportunity to see interdimensionally. That's the truth. The average person can go to 5th dimension in a theta state. And that's what you're experiencing. The funny thing is they, from their perspective, they're probably not on your door. They're probably on some other type of an object that is 4th dimensional to them. You're in a mix, okay? So you're in a blended aspect. Part of that is relatable to your brain, to accept that they're there. If you were to wake up in your room were to look completely enchanted, you would discount generally what you are looking at, talk yourself out of it, say it's a dream, and not pay any attention to it. By keeping your third dimensional environment engaged and allowing the sentient beings to be part of what you already accept as real, you are likely to accept part, at least, of what's going on, which is lovely, which is the way you help to open your own mind, not be afraid of the things that you aren't fully in understanding or what you believe you aren't in experience of, but you're really in what we want to call a bridging aspect between the third and fourth dimension most of the time. If you were to slide, like we said, if you were to slide fully into the fourth dimension, everything in the fourth dimension is very enchanted looking. Odds are those fairies were probably actually sitting on tree branches, okay? You probably were sitting in the midst of a forest or something like that. But again, you would not give value to it and you would not be paying attention to it. Now, the vibrational aspects of these fairies is very fast. The likelihood is they're communicating with you, but you can't hear them, okay? Because your brain, when you're three-dimensional, is operating at a much slower vibrational piece to understand the way linguistics or language through your vocal cords deliver the formulation of words and sentences. A fourth dimensional being is vibrating much, much higher. So if you could hear their voices, it's mostly squeaks and clicks and pops. That's just because they're moving at such a fast pace. So you probably can't understand an actual conversation with them when you're in that state, but you're listening just for sounds. Sometimes it actually sounds like music if you get, or singing in some way, and that's usually them attempting to communicate with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And the next question comes from Cat55K. How can we perceive our parallel lives, for example, on a different planet? Thank you.
Well, Master, it's a vibrational state is what we will tell you. It's a focus, it's a projection, and it's an ability through your ability to accept that you have the ability. So most of you deny your ability to do so, though we do support. Most of it's been closed off from you, and most of it's been shut down because portals are being manipulated. So through the CERN apparatuses, they aren't allowing portals and gateways to stay open or to close organically. When they open and close organically, there's more time available to you to enter into, have an experience, and exit. When they're stimulating, artificially stimulating those portals and gateways and doorways, they're opening and shutting them very, very quickly. So it's kind of like you trying to walk through a gauntlet, like that, okay? And then trying to grasp any sense of any of it being real or any of the goings on, when all you're focused on is trying to get through the gauntlet. So that's generally also what is taking place. So it is making it very difficult for people to enter in through other realms. Now, having said that, the other thing that is a layering distraction is your awakened state. So right now, while you're sitting here awakened, you're so distracted by all of this stuff that's going on around you. And that can make it very, very difficult for you to enter into, with an aspect of focus, grab your experience and exit. So usually people will travel interdimensionally during their sleep time. We're using hyphenated because you're never really asleep. You're always awake. But during your quiet time, sleep time, where you shut the exterior illusionary hologram out of your visual acceptance, and you are more readily and able to accept the interdimensional travel experience that you're having, you're perceiving it as a dream. It is not a dream. It is a reality. So start there. Make your suggestions before you enter into a form of sleep at night for you to travel. This is in direct correlation to your astral body. If you don't have good functional astral body projection, then you need an energy balancing energy session. You need grounding sessions. You need clearing of your chakras. You need all kinds of energy work so that your astral body has a reach for its projection. When your energy field is tight, twisted, knotted up, which most of you are, your gossamer thread that allows your astral body to project and travel is very, very tight, and it won't go interdimensionally. So these are a lot of the things for you to consider in answer to your question. We hope we have served you well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question from the Flourishing Group. Hi, Julius and Casey. Do you foresee Bitcoin and the stock market dropping soon or within the next year or never coming back up like it usually does?
Bitcoin is cabal, so with likelihood is they're getting rid of it. That's what we will tell you. We would project for you to take that in consideration. We are not allowed to give you financial advice, so we're not going to do that here. What we will tell you is we foresee that it is going away. Act accordingly.
Thank you so much. Next question. What is the next collective initiation humanity must pass in consciousness before the veil thins further?
Master, it's not a mass collection of consciousness. It's your consciousness. You raise your consciousness, Master, and your veil will thin out. You don't have to wait for anybody else to join you. Please don't. And there isn't anything that's going to awaken you. You are. Nobody else's consciousness state is going to affect yours. You get to do your work. Stop waiting for it. Stop it. Okay? You, in raising your own consciousness, will see through any veil and see through any obstacle that has prevented you from recognizing yourself as source.
Excellent. Next question from Stacey Savage. Is it worth fighting in a small, hold on a second, because I think there was a previous. How do we know when it's appropriate to fight for what we want or let go and trust? For example, my ex managed to take my family's home from under me, and I've had to move out. I don't know if it's worth fighting it in small claims court or accepting the loss and move on.
Master, that's your decision. That's your decision. You're the only one that is going to make the decision as to whether you choose to stay entangled in a low frequency experience or not. There's no right or wrong answer to that experience. What we will tell you is you do not have a high frequency adjudication system. Your adjudication system is low frequency. That's why mostly the liars, the cheaters, and the thieves thrive in the judicial system, because they're a frequency match. When you are a high frequency being, the likelihood is you're just going to choose to step away from it because it's not worth you getting sick and it's not worth that energy affecting you. But that's your choice. That's your choice. That's what we will tell you. You will have your guts full of the way the low frequency makes you feel, and you will step away from it, or you won't. You'll fight it and fight it and fight it and fight it and dig and scrap and spit and poop and fart and get a headache and get sick and blah, 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 blah. But hey, you got your house, okay? Instead, we would focus on your high vibrational state, Master, so that whatever you choose to stay in or get out of, you will be thriving no matter what in your aspect of recovery. Okay. Sometimes, Master, you got to ask yourself, why would I want a vibrational house that was attached to somebody with so low vibration in the first place? Why would you want to house yourself in it? That's what we would be asking. Go out, thrive, project, manifest, and find a much more high vibrational space for you to live in. That's our perspective. But you, Master, get to make your choices. Isn't that lovely? For you are a sovereign being, and no matter what, Master, it will expand you.
Thank you. Next question. Can gene mutations be repaired in one body?
Of course, Master. You absolutely control your genetic codes. Epigenetics is your gene patterns are created through your thoughts. So that's what genes are. Genes are not passed on. Thought is passed on. Did you hear us? Genes are not passed on. Thought is passed on. Your genes respond to your thoughts. Your thought, your body is thought and emotion actualized. Your DNA holds and houses any option for your genes to demonstrate themselves through any costume variation. We literally want you to consider this. Your DNA spiral helix is like a closet full of costumes. Seriously. It's like the biggest walk-in closet that you have ever experienced. It's like theater room for every type of embodied role that you have ever experienced. And since you're all one, that means every sentient being that has ever experienced. Yes, that's how many costumes you carry as an option in your spiral helix in your DNA. Your genes will usually pick your costume for you. So pick your costume with consciousness, Master. You do change your genes through your thought. It's called epigenetics, and we encourage you to study it and come out smiling and smelling like a rose.
Excellent. Next question from Delina. A friend passed last week. She came through during a reading. She was upset and said there was medical negligence and wasn't ready to live here. Are there some instances when the soul doesn't choose when it exits?
That's a great question. That's a super great question. Okay. We are going to support that your soul makes that decision. We are going to support that. Having said that, the transition from physical to non-physical can sometimes become entangled in a residue of the altered ego. And the altered ego will pass judgment over occurrence. So it is likely that the communication that came through to you still has an aspect of an altered ego's entanglement in that frequency. And so they feel cheated. Okay. But ultimately, Masters, no soul is really ever cheated. That's good news, right? That's good news. On a three-dimensional aspect, it stinks, right? Because you have the perception of murder, you have the perception of lives being cheated and cut short, you have the perception of mistakes being made, and all of those things. And that very well feels very, very true for you. And while it feels true, it will be true. Okay. Most people don't understand that the soul or source is ultimately making those decisions, and they love to blame for their loss because they perceive it as a loss. So when sentient beings finally come to the ability and the knowing that there is no such thing as death, there is only transition from physical to non-physical. Once they understand that, fully accept the truth of that, and experience that as their truth, they will stop feeling cheated, and they will stop living in the perception of loss where they feel the need to blame for their loss. Loss always goes with blame, always. They're brothers and sisters that live next to each other, okay? So all of it has to do with perception, all of it. But here's the other thing, Master, you will receive information based on your frequency of consciousness, your filter. So you may have perceived that message that way, but that's because that's coming through your perception vibrationally of how that message is understood. That doesn't necessarily mean it is exactly what was conveyed. That's why we have always said your ability to perceive or to comprehend communication is vital to the understanding of the communication. Okay. So if you have somebody who is of higher frequency, non-judgmental in the occurrence, and they receive a message, it could be a completely different type of message. That's not an insult to you, Master. It's not. It is the truth. It is the truth. So always take in consideration what frequency that message is, the frequency of the person delivering the message, the frequency of the person that is filtering the message. And if you are receiving a message, Master, that is less than the soul making all of that sovereignty choice, then you are receiving a message that still has an altered ego entangled in the frequency vibration, and it's the altered ego that is speaking to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And let's go now to the special of this week. What happens when you scan the QR code healing package? What you see, what you are going to see is that your web browser on your cell phone or on your computer is going to take you to this landing page, healing package for the love of self. What can you tell us about this incredible special of this week, Casey?
We have experienced. Thankfully, we've experienced a lot of breakthrough. So sorry, I have a cat here in my eye, so I'm pulling on my eye. My apologies, but I want to keep talking to you. We've experienced a lot of breakthrough energy sessions from Julius in the last couple of years. I've had the honor and the opportunity to provide many, many forms of energy work for people. And so on our website, you can go in and you can see all of those individual options for yourselves. But we also noticed that there was an outcry. There seemed to be an outcry of people, Angel, that are very sick. Cancer, turbo cancer seems to be on the rise. Chronic conditions seem to be on the rise. Of course, that would be the case because many people are in a lot of fear right now. A lot of lives are, tumbling down, falling apart. And so we wanted to put a package together that's a healing combination for everybody at a discounted price. So this is that. So this is a healing package. We've taken giving you options from the healing courses, healing applications that we offer, so we can, to a certain extent, custom blend a little healing package for you, and you can experience that. Now, you can use this opportunity for this combo package for yourself to heal your heart and your love of self. These processes certainly can be used that way, and everybody needs that. Or if you are feeling like you would like some specialized energy and healing work specifically for an illness or a chronic condition, then we can help create a combination that's going to best serve you that way. We really felt pulled to put something together for everybody. We were just getting those communications, Angels, consistently of people looking for something because they had cancer or they have this or they have that. So this is really my team answering the call for everybody to have an opportunity. It's an extraordinary savings, actually. It's about half price of what you would normally pay for those options. So if that resonates with you, it's a great time. It's also just a great time to try a variety of our energy sessions at a crazy discounted rate. We especially wanted to bring that to everybody right around the holiday season. We try to support everybody for their opportunity to have their experiences with Julius and how their energy sessions work for everyone. So that's what we can tell you. You can read the descriptions. You can get in there probably and get a lot of your questions answered, but you can always send in your question to our support team. So just any of your questions to the email support@channelingjulius.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Remember, just scan this QR code and it will take you to this incredible landing page with all the different options of packages that you can choose from to get this, mix of three of whichever sessions of this you choose and in what order you choose to receive them.
Yeah.
Just incredible. I think we've never done this before. So it's really, really a great opportunity. And let me actually show this on a much nicer way so it's easier for you to scan. And as usual, very beautiful visual from our production team here at the Awakening Network, episode number 128 of the Ask Julius Show. And we continue with the questions because we have a ton of questions. Next question from Tommy. Are there soulless entities? And if so, what do you call them?
Well, we would tell you this, okay? If you are a fully organic being, a fully organic being, you are basically alive by having a soul if you're fully organic. Okay. Having said that, a soul is all about compassion and empathy, Master. And so, where the position of the soul is within the organic body can massively affect the percentage or the ability for compassion and empathy. When the soul is knocked out of its center position, can literally be hanging outside of the body, 3/4 of the percentage, with just a little piece of the soul still quote unquote operational within the body, you will have somebody who has no empathy and no compassion, commonly experienced as forms of personality disorders, mental conditions, sociopath, psychopath, narcissist, narcopath, borderline multiple personality disorder. They're called cluster B personality disorders, and they have no ability to connect on an emotional level with anybody. They have basically no ability for compassion or empathetic emotions. They only have a little piece of their soul that is basically still leaving that body operational. When that happens, eyes go black. A lot of things change and shift in the body, and they're fully operational from the altered ego. There is no soul that is really governing their decisions. They're 100% operational from the altered ego. This is also known as being in the first level of consciousness. First level of consciousness. If you are non-organic, but you are, walking around on this earth, and there's clones. Clones can have a soul implant, so to speak. They can siphon soul energy from beings. That's another conversation, or just go with us here. And they can insert energy from a soul in a clone for a temporary time period. But that soul will not seat itself in the center of a clone. So you will still have somebody who's a sociopath, a psychopath, a narcopath, a cluster B, borderline personality disorder. You won't have a compassionate, empathetic being. You're still going to have a first level of consciousness being. So to be clear, a clone is a first level of consciousness being, and also an organic is a first level of consciousness being. When they have any of those personality disorders or mental disorders, their soul is not seated. Then you have hybrids. The hybrids still have generally a percentage of a soul, but they don't last long. So you'll have a lot of ricocheting around. So when you have a hybrid, you may be able to experience for a very short period of time an aspect of empathy and compassion, but it won't last long and it will go away. So the soul may attach itself in a centered position, but literally for only a brief moment, and it's going to escape. Any soul that is forced to enter a costume won't live there for long because it's sovereign and it will leave. When a soul is in an organic body, it has a tendency to, it's going to stay there for the duration or the lifetime of that organic, unless the organic has its soul extracted. And it definitely can have that done through satanic ceremonial applications where they consciously surrender their soul to another sentient being, and that becomes their experience. Wow. We hope that'll work for you for this week.
Excellent. I'm sure it will. Thank you so much. Next question from Abby. Reveal one truth about death that no human religion has ever written down, spoken plainly without a metaphor.
That there's no death, Master. That's the truth. How about that one? That's
all right.
The truth. There is no death. Go ahead.
Next question. Sony Dean. Julius, how can I ask the right question about me and life if I am not aware of who I truly am? What can help me to know that? Thank you.
By practicing the art that you are, Source. So it's not a right or wrong question, Master. You can't ask any wrong questions. You ask questions that are in alignment with your perception or your desire to expand your perception. Okay. Everything that you are taught on the earth ship is to lead you away from knowing that you are source. So when you consider that, you will generally try to let go of everything that you have been taught and enter into an aspect of being far more open-minded and receive information that will support that you are far more than you've ever perceived yourself to be. You are not a human being. You are not male or female. You are not human in a physical form. You're not any type of physical form. You're not the demonstration of your productivity. You're not your education. You're not the money that you make. You're not the religion that you belong to. You're not any of the organizations. You're not a political party. You are not healthy, well, ill, or any of that. You are source. Experiencing yourself through those experiences. And we would suggest that you explore that possibility, and we will be happy to guide you there. Just come with us.
Excellent. Thank you so much. The next question from Cat55K. When Julius talked about clones earlier, they mentioned partials. Can we get the short explanation, please?
No, there is no short explanation, Master. There's hybrids. So they'll just take an organic being and breed them with a clone. Clones have reproductive parts to them. So usually the clone will be the houser, okay? So in other words, the organic would be the male and the inorganic would be the female. So they can make very effective clones that just have housing in them to grow a fetus. So usually the organic is the male donor. We don't need to get more graphic than that, we don't think. And usually the clone is the female, and then it'll be birthed and it will have a hybrid application. But here's the other thing. Hybrids are usually inbreds of species. So hybrids are inbreds of species, not just organics and artificials. So when you have inbred of species, you will still have a soul, but you'll have a very confused soul because the soul doesn't know which genetic perspective to operate from. So you'll have massive mental problems, schizophrenia, and things of that nature because it has no way or direction to grasp an understanding of what it is and who it is. So when there's forced application and laboratory results, you get a very, very, very confused end result when it comes to your soul versus your altered ego, which is very, very intentional, Master, because the more confused you are as to whether you are source, the more controlled you are able to be.
Wonderful. Next question from Christine Gebel. Hi, Julius. Appreciate you. I truly love and adore all animals, and they seem to like me, I think. But birds, oddly in particular, do I have some special connection to them in some life or timeline?
So, Master, you are them. So first thing we want to tell you is there's only one of us here. Okay, there's only one of us here. So on the highest truth, you are all of that. On a reduced aspect, where you perceive yourself as separate and singular, you will do every species separate and singular. So there isn't any of you that aren't any type of another species, okay? Having said that, it could be close to you, so to speak. So you could be an avian being, and therefore, you know, the avian species here on this realm would be very, very interconnected to you because you could come from an avian existence, upright existence, non-winged avian existence. So then when you come here to this earth, the avian existence is a winged species, and they would resonate with you. So there's all different explanations. You are all of it, so everything would resonate. You have embodied yourself as that probably more than once. They could be capturing the fact that you are simultaneously existing as an upright avian in another dimension. But Master, it is also just this. It is the open mind, okay? It is the open mind, okay? And so never cut yourself short. If it pleases you to know that you have been Avion, we would say, well, you are Avion Master because you are who you are interacting with, because there's only one of us here. So all of the hook bills or the soft bills or anything that you're interacting with is you in the present moment. And they are just simply interrelating with themselves.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question is again from Sony Dean. Julius, if I understood correctly, what the trees told me, we are all one, and the same energy flows within me, within them, and within everything. So, is empty space truly filled with life, or what?
Master, there is no empty space. There's no such thing as empty space. That's going to probably totally change your perception of the question that you just asked us. There's no empty spaces, everybody. There's no such thing. Everything is frequency. Everything is frequency. Frequency fills up all the space. And the truth is, there isn't even any space. That's just a perception. We love that one. So we're just going to correct that aspect of your statement, and then we're going to let your mind wander.
Excellent. Thank you so much. The next question, also from Sony Dean. Following your insights on DNA and our capacity for choice, what about aging? Do we really have to age with time? I don't agree. I feel that we do this way out of ignorance. Thank you.
Oh, you don't do it out of ignorance. You're choosing it. You're choosing to age. That's the truth. You've been programmed to do it. You've been programmed to do it. So you don't have to do anything. You're choosing everything. And we'll say that age doesn't have anything to do with time. It has to do with your attitude and your perception. Anybody of age variation will support that as a truth. Okay. So you've been programmed for it. It's a byproduct of your frequency. That's all it is. Aging is a byproduct of frequency. The higher your frequency, the less you'll age. That is a truth. So that is great news, because that is the thing that you are in control of, is the way you think and the way you feel and the vibrational rate for which you choose to exist at. That's all within your control, Master. So raise your vibration and you will slow your aging process down.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The next question from Sherilyn. Very good question. What's the best question we could ask you? Thank you for providing that and the answer.
No, Master, there's no such thing as a best question. That's a judgment. Okay. All questions are relative. All questions are relative. Okay. So what is the priority for you in your existence would be the question that you would ask. We perceive that humanity that you don't want to know that you're source. You're so engulfed in the illusion around you, you just are on a hamster wheel. Most of humanity doesn't ask, how do I raise my consciousness? How do I come to know myself as source? And how can I serve all other versions of my own self by being source? But most of you don't do that. You're on a hamster wheel of being human and having financial problems and being sick and not being loved. Okay? And all of that isn't actually even real. It's just a byproduct of your limited consciousness. So when you have your guts full of all of your limitations, you will rise above them and choose to see yourself as more than the dramas that you create for your own self. That's what we did. And we also decided to stop blaming other people. And we also decided and learned that each time we harm another, we harm our own selves tenfold. And so that's when we decided to change and shift our consciousness. So the most intelligent aspect of a question would be what would lead you to the knowing that you are source, and how that could be supported in a teaching, a process, and understanding. And that's what we do with our teachings, is we lead our students into knowing that they are source. But your very statement of it being best shows us that your vibration and your frequency is of low consciousness. And that's not a judgment, that's a truth, because even your narrative is based on judgment. So raise your vibration and your consciousness, Master. And if you have no idea what that means or how to do it, we can help you with that.
Excellent. Thank you so much. The next question is from Sarah. I 100,000% believe I have a negative energy entity, poltergeist, attached to me.
Hmm.
It's gotten to the point that I am physically being touched by something daily. A friend told me to try candles and a cleanse, but I tried and I think it's too strong for me to vanish on my own, and I just pissed it off more. How can I get rid of it? Who do I see about it? It's absolutely destroying my life. I feel so violated. I am desperate. And she goes on to say, "Thank you so much, Sarah.
We,
Angel, I don't know if this is legit or not, but it came in just now." Of course.
yeah. We can help you with that. You can have a cord cutting session with us and we can help you with that, but you will have to work on your vibration so it doesn't reattach itself to you. As you are working on raising your vibration, you can have cord cutting sessions done on a regular basis to help get it off of you and help get you somewhat protected against the assault that is happening to you. But it would also might be interesting to discover the portal that it's traveling through in your environment to attach itself to you, and we can help you with that as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And that was the last question of today's show. Oh my God, we asked so many questions. We went so fast today. It was amazing. And we keep on showing here. Let me switch on my camera. We keep on having here this QR code. We know that you have been actually pointing your cameras to this QR code and you are already wanting to know more. By the way, don't ever forget that we have this email address, support@channelingjulius.com, to which you can send your emails, your questions. You can send your anything that you would like to share with us, and our production team will help you figure out everything that you would like to know. And again, as usual, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We love you. Casey, any final thoughts?
Yeah, we want to invite everybody. Please give us your likes, give us your subscribes. Please share us with your friends and your audience. It helps extend our reach. So it doesn't have anything really to do with monetization. Unfortunately, we're not large enough to be monetized, but we'd love to reach more people. And it has something to do with the algorithms too, the more we interact with you. So on our social media platforms, please interact with us. Please leave a comment, just a hello. It's nice to be here. Hope everybody's well. So that's really what we would love to invite everybody to do. That's how you can help support us and our network, is the interactions, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and from our heart to yours, it helps us keep going with you. And of course, obviously, our intention is to get the teachings of Julius out to everybody, to help assist everybody on their conscious journey. The accelerating the consciousness of humanity is our motto, our catchphrase, for the Channeling Julius platform and for the Awakening Network platform. And we've got to get out. We've got to get our reach out there. So please help us do that. If you love us and you want to keep interacting with us, please help us spread. Please, please, please. And please visit the website. We do have a new website is up, Channeling Julius. It is better and smoother in its interaction. Please check out everything that we have to offer. We have so much to offer. And the price range, we hope we have been able to provide a low enough price range for you to get some samplings and some interactions with Julius, as well as the higher range. We've got our free show here with on this network, as well as other things, interviews and things like that. So please check us out, everybody. That's what we would ask from you. And I want to send you so much love and appreciation for being here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Remember, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your relatives about this incredible show, because I'm sure that they will have questions that we never thought could be asked. And they are all going to be answered by Julius and their group of entities. Thanks to Casey Spear channeling them. Thank you, Casey. Thank you to all of our production team, who is awesome. And thank you, everybody here, an incredible audience, and all of us together, expanding the consciousness of humanity every single day. This is the outro video as usual. See you next week. It's going to be on November the 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, We love you. See you next week. Bye-bye.